postgame show coming up. Let's right now go live to James Brown in New York.
Hey, Kevin, thank you so very much. We take you now to the ball game. Deadlock, Pittsburgh and Indy all knotted at 17. 35 seconds left in regulation. Let's join the announcers at that one. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Jamie Erdahl.
Risky have to start. However, the recovering player was in contact with another player when he recovered the ball on the ground.
Game in Jacksonville. Chargers trailing, make that leading by 3, 17-14, 1:42 left in regulation. Let's join the announcers there. Andrew Catalan, James Lofton.
Not what we were expecting to hear.
Little play here. He's not a wide receiver, is he?
So we will be stepping aside for a quick timeout as this one is all knotted at 17 going into overtime. But because of NFL rules, we cannot stay with that game. We will keep you updated. The NFL Today State Farm postgame show will continue after this.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Play of the Day.
Jaguars punter Brad Nortman looks to do what he does best, but it is running back Corey Grant who takes the snap. He races past cornerback Desmond King and a bunch of other Charger defenders. 56 yards to pay dirt for the score. Instead of losing possession, the Jags were granted high fives in the stands. 6 on the scoreboard.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. This is the State Farm postgame show.
And welcome back inside Studio 43 at the State Farm postgame show. I'm James Brown alongside my guys, Coach Nate Boomer and Phil. Folks, a reminder, up next, it'll be the CBS Sports Spectacular, bringing you Courage in Sports, which focuses on inspiring individuals overcoming the odds to pursue that is, their passions in the most unimaginable ways, and why we love to root for the underdog. That's coming up next right here on CBS. Well, let's get you caught up on the highlights, Nate.
Cleveland in Detroit. Here's DeShone Kizer dropping back. He connects with Kenny Britt, who makes a move, and he gets up the left sideline and gets in the end zone for a 19-yard TD. That's Kizer's first TD since week 3. And here's Matt Stafford hitting the tight end. Eric Ebron had some troubles this year, but making plays now. And here's a screenplay to one of the best yards after catch receivers, Golden Tate, exploding up the middle for a 40-yard TD. The Lions 38. Browns 24. They had an opportunity to win this and made some mistakes in this one.
21 unanswered, all touchdowns by Matthew Stafford. And after the game, it was Mr. Stafford with Spiro Ditas and Adam Archuleta.
Matthew, maybe a tougher game than Lions fans could have expected going in, but you guys are a little bit too much offensively. How difficult was this game?
It's a tough one. We knew it was going to be a dogfight. These guys are a really talented team. They've got a bunch of high draft picks, a bunch of talented players on this team, and a little bit of a slow start from myself and our team, but we rallied, played a really nice second half, and got the win.
Matthew, that was such a huge play, that 40-yard touchdown to Golden Tate. Walk me through that play as you came to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're an aggressive team. They like to bring pressure, and I kind of have the ability to get to whatever I need to get to at the line of scrimmage, and was able to make a check, and our guys executed on the outside extremely well. Golden did a great job of getting that thing in the end zone, and that was kind of the clincher.
So back-to-back wins, 5-4. You're still tied with Green Bay for second place in the division. Where's the confidence? Where is this team now, Matthew, as you look ahead to Week 11?
We're doing a nice job. Obviously 2 wins is a positive for us, but there's a lot to clean up. We can't start the way we started. I can't turn the ball over. I'm sure every phase of our team has something to clean up. We'll look at that and move forward, try to play a little bit better next Sunday.
We appreciate the time, Matthew.
Thanks, guys.
From the Lions to the Vikings in the NFC North, you got Kirk Cousins dropping back, and check out this catch right here. A beautiful throw on the outside. Wow. Even better catch, spectacular one-handed grab. Look at the instant replay. Wow. On the field, they said it wasn't a catch, incomplete. Then it was reviewed, and they came back and said it was. Now check it out. Case Keenum, he's making plays. He hits Adam, I got a feeling, and he makes the play for the 7-yard touchdown. I want you to check out the creativity on the celebration. A little leapfrog, right? We're just kids at recess playing football. Here's Case Keenum. him, dropping off a quick screen. Jarius Wright, he gets in. Keenum, 4 touchdowns on the day. Minnesota Vikings, 38. Redskins, 30.
I would like to see him leapfrog over Boomer. That would be some work. But here we go. Green Bay at Chicago. Sorry, Boomer. A minute in love. Mitchell Trubisky connects with running back Benny Cunningham on what appears to be a 25-yard touchdown pass. Cunningham ruled out of bounds at the 2-yard line. John Fox thinks he scored, so he challenged the call. And what happens? It's a fumble, goes in the end zone, and it's a touchback Green Bay's ball. Mitchell Trubisky passes Joshua Bellamy for a 46-yard touchdown, 16-13 at that time. Green Bay. Then Brett Hundley connects with Devontae Adams for a 19-yard TD. Since that's his first touchdown pass since Aaron Rodgers' injury. Green Bay wins the game 23-16. Really solid game by Brett Hundley. And, man, what a way to lose a touchdown when you get it down there. And John Fox didn't get enough information up top. And the wrong information challenges, and they lose the football.
Yeah, I thought it was all about, you know, like irrefutable evidence that you
that was
about. It looked like the ball was loose, but it looked like you also stepped out of bounds before the ball came loose.
And let's make a point. Let's not put this on John Fox. They came to him and said, listen, his foot did not go out of bounds. They didn't talk to him at all about the end of that play. So I think when you look at this, I understand what John Fox did because he was trying to score. But in my opinion, this is the correct call.
Yes, if you watch it as they show the other replay, well, John's arguing, or he wants to challenge. Here you go. Is he out of bounds?
Right there. His foot goes out of bounds when he's in the air. Right there is sliding out of bounds. And I'm like, all right, so how can you tell whether or not that simultaneously is happening when the ball is coming out of his hands? I don't think that there was irrefutable evidence to overturn or change the call. I thought that the ball should have stayed there. And I know that Chicago fans are going to be irate over this. I think that John Fox is going to be irate over this. And I just think it's a really, really one of those ticky-tacky calls. And cost them the game.
And what is irrefutable right now, Coach and Nate, is that in the NFC North, it is jam-packed there.
I think you look at the Minnesota Vikings. I think one of the most impressive wins today was to go down to Washington, who got a lot of their players back. And Case Keenum put in the first half. That was a career half. Now, he held on through a couple interceptions in the second half of this game, but they responded also after that. And I tell you what, Case Keenum is making a point right now to be the quarterback of the future for this football team. 7-2, there's no arguing that.
Yeah, and when your third-string quarterback is in, your star running back, Dalvin Cook, goes down, the players surrounding that quarterback, they have to make plays. Stephon Diggs is showing up every week, but Adam Thielen, 8 catches, 166 and a touchdown. That's how you step up for a guy who wasn't planned to be your starter at the beginning of the season.
How about that? Thielen, Diggs, and Case Keenum, they're going to be your stars on the offensive side before the year. We'd all go, what are you? Well, they're not going to do very well. But Case Keenum, 4 touchdowns. Hey, look, you're not going to be perfect. He is a daring quarterback. He plays, you know, with full abandon, not afraid to take chances.
He has nothing to lose right now.
That's right, but not afraid to take chances down the field. And that's what's really working. And you got to give the offensive coordinator, Pat Shermer, a lot of credit. This offense doesn't even resemble the one we saw last year.
You know, and their best player didn't even play today. That's Everson Griffin on the defensive line. So he didn't play today. Maybe that's why they gave up 30 points. I don't know. But certainly a very good win. Also for the Detroit Lions, we talked about them in the pregame. Telling you the schedule. Now, they got off to a slow start today. Maybe because they played on Monday night in Green Bay. There's a little bit of a hangover. They were playing the Browns. They haven't won a game. But I'm telling you, Matthew Stafford had a really strong second half. Now, this is 4 games in a row where their passing game has really showed up. Now, it's starting to show up with touchdowns in the red zone, as opposed to the game against Pittsburgh where they didn't get any. They had to settle for 5 field goals, I believe. But now, all of a sudden, Matthew Stafford is getting into a rhythm. So I really do think when you look at their schedule and you look at their second half by Matthew Stafford, that they're going to have a really good shot of getting into the wild card position.
And as impressive as Matt Stafford has been, being the guy that has played with him, we know that he can light up the skies with the best of them. But guys, I'm still concerned about that running game. Still no 100-yard wrestler. We know that they're going to get involved. We got Theo Riddick, Amir Abdullah can catch out of the backfield. But as you move forward and try to make a run in the postseason, you got to drop back and hand that ball off and run in between the tackles.
You do, but I'll tell you, the schedule, we pointed out this in the pregame, the schedule is very, very favorable.
Here's what you do. They're playing the Aaron Rodgers offense. Matt Stafford, do your thing. And how many times can you rush the passer in a football game? They tire out. Once they tire out, then he tears you up. And that's what I like. That's what I see. I see the Green Bay offense now in Detroit, and it works well.
Minnesota at 7-2, Detroit and Green Bay at 5-4. The State Farm postgame show will continue right after this.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me football scores.
Instant update, boom.
All right, how about this? Philip Rivers is going to try to hit Travis Benjamin down the left sideline. A.J. Boye comes up with the interception. Now, he is going to run this all the way back to the 1-yard line. But unfortunately for Jacksonville, they're going to get their second taunting penalty of the game and late in the game. This is an overtime, obviously. This ball is going to get moved back out to the 16-yard line. They presently have the ball on the 16-yard line. Game is tied. If they kick a field goal in this situation, the game will be over.
Yeah, here we go, Boomer. It's interesting. Saints at the Bills. Mark Ingram takes a handoff, goes 1 yard for a touchdown, put the Saints up 7-3. The Bills, Tyrod Taylor, his pass is intercepted by the big man, Sheldon Rankins. And this interception, yeah, look at him rumble down there.
It's not the
He loves it with the ball. Big man with the ball. Led to Mark Ingram's third touchdown of the day. Then Saints QB Drew Brees. No TD passes on the day, but runs 7 yards for the touchdown.
Wow.
The Saints today, over 40 minutes of possession time, 6 rushing touchdowns, and man, oh man, it's about that offensive line of the New Orleans Saints when you watch them play. Tough defense, really good offensive line, run the football.
And what we're getting ready to do, Boomer, we're watching the game-winning attempt here of the field goal in that Chargers-Jacksonville game. Boomer set the stage.
That's right. And remember, it's going to be 4th and 10. I think it's like a 22-yard field goal attempt for Josh Lambo, the former Charger, trying to kick a game winner against his former team. And also remember, in this game, they lost their long snapper. The Jaguars did. So this thing is not by any a given. You know what I'm saying? So I think it looks like the Chargers did call timeout. But the interesting thing about what has happened here with Jacksonville, they're a really good team. But they are a really high-energy team. There's a lot of taunting going on back and forth between these two teams.
Yeah, but you can have high energy without being foolish.
Right. And the foolishness has really hurt Jacksonville here twice. Once at the end of regular time, and then now here in overtime.
And that's what you're talking about, Boom. You're talking about the high level energy and the low level of maturity, and those two things don't mix. When you're in the position right now where we're talking about Jacksonville not as one of the teams that are catching some momentum, as one of the better teams in the league, Coach.
And the thing you have to be able to do, you don't want to. You will love the enthusiasm, you love the energy, but there's a degree with which you cross the line and it becomes selfish. And I think they've done that twice now, is they've let their emotions get the best of them. I always said the most mentally tough teams are the ones that can control 2 things. You can control your focus and your emotions. And if you can control those 2 things, that to me describes a mentally tough team. And right now, they're not controlling their emotions.
You know, it's kind of surprising because they're led by their defense and they run the football. All those things are about discipline. Doug Marrone is a guy that's, you know, as strict as they come, and they're going to try to kick the game-winning field goal here.
And here we go.
It's not a pretty kick, but it's long enough.
You know what? Not
pretty. It just made it.
Bill, for those who didn't see it, you said it wasn't pretty because?
It was a very low kick. I don't think it got any higher than a crossbar, but just good enough. And you'll see it right here.
Well, here it is right here. And you can see, I think they actually get a hand on it.
Yeah.
And it just barely makes it over. But, you know, this was a crazy, crazy game. There are a lot of twists and turns to this game, a lot of emotion back and forth. The Jaguars showed some immaturity. The one thing that I worry about the Jaguars, and we saw it in the 4th quarter, the decision-making by Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
I mean, questionable. I mean, there were some really bad throws. There were throws where you would think that he was trying to give the game to the Chargers.
Right.
And he did not have a good 4th quarter at all. This game, again, was won by their defense and was won by the mistakes made by the Chargers offense, the fumble, and also an interception there at the beginning of overtime.
And then there's some cause for concern. You got Leonard Fournette, who's back in the lineup. He doesn't crack 50 yards. On the flip side, you got Blake Bortles throwing the ball 51 times. And I think we all know, in order to win games on a consistent basis for the Jacksonville Jaguars, let's limit those passes and increase the running attack.
You know, as you start going through November and December, you find out who you are. And, and if you start to become one-dimensional, it becomes limiting for you as to how far you can go with your team. So I think it's a concern you have right now in Jacksonville is you are a one-dimensional team in terms of running the football and playing defense. That will get you to the playoffs, but does it get you over the hump to win a championship?
Yeah, look, the Los Angeles Chargers came in there today and said, look, we're not going to let their running game beat us. They understood what they were up against on the defensive side. I know late in the game, the Jacksonville defense, all those sacks, did not have a sack on Phillip Rivers, but who came through for him? A.J. Boye. That was a tremendous interception down the sideline, and that turned out to be the winning formula.
And with the coaching points that will come, the net, they still finish at 6-3 along with Tennessee. More of the State Farm postgame show after this.
This is the State Farm postgame show.
And join us on Saturday for a big college football SEC on CBS doubleheader first. Mississippi State against Arkansas. Then, folks, it'll be Kentucky battling Georgia. Coverage kicks off at noon Eastern right here on CBS as we welcome you back to the State Farm postgame show and right back to the highlights. Coach gets us going.
Indianapolis, you're going to find right here, Jacoby Brissett's going to find a wide-open Chester Rogers for this 61-yard touchdown. He already had a 60-yard touchdown earlier in the game, Dante Moncrief. And you can see them go up 17-3, but then the Pittsburgh Steelers in the second half, it was all Ben. Right here, you can see Ben having all this time. They've had some red zone woes, trouble scoring down there, but here he finds a wide-open Vance McDonald. The two-point conversion tied the game. And then with 4 seconds left, Chris Boswell, who had missed an extra point and a field goal earlier, makes the 33-yard field goal, and they win 20-17. Juju Smith had 5 catches for 97 yards to lead the receiving tour.
And for the young man who just got his driver's license, no problem finding the end zone with a touchdown in 3 straight games. Juju Smith afterwards with our Jamie Erdahl.
All right, Juju, it felt like a tale of 2 halves in that game. What adjustments were made at halftime, either by coach or offensively, that became the difference maker?
I mean, the first half, all of it started off slow, but, our defense, they stuck strong. At halftime, our coach said we just got to play together, We were beating ourselves. And the second half, you just got to come together as one, play as a team, and trust one another.
And for you, 2 weeks ago, you almost have 200 yards. Today, almost 100. What's different for you now coming into your own as a wide receiver in the league?
I mean, I just, having an opportunity with these great guys, A.B., Martavis, we're all just doing our role and doing our part. And for that, I'm just trying to do the best I can do for this team.
When you look at this team down the stretch, how important in leadership is Ben Roethlisberger when you come into games like this?
Oh, very important, man. I remember when I was a kid and I used to watch when they were mic'd up against Baltimore. I was like, man, I want to know what it feels like to be in that huddle when it's like the last drive of the game. And, I got that experience today. And, Ben does what he does, He's Big Ben for a reason. Lead us to number 7.
Thanks.
No problem. Thank you.
And down in Tennessee, going against the Cincinnati Bengals, it was all Tennessee. And DeMarco Murray had 3 touchdowns on the day. There, that one in the first half, the second rushing touchdown. But then A.J. Green takes his pass from Andy Dalton, breaks a tackle, goes 70 yards for the touchdown that puts the Bengals up 20-17. But the Titans down by 3. 40 seconds left. Marcus Mariota finds again DeMarco Murray. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown. And they go ahead right there and hold on for a 24-20 win over the Cincinnati Bengals to go to 6-3 and match Jacksonville for the lead in the AFC South.
And speaking of matching Jacksonville in the AFC South, it stays tight.
It does stay tight. And Jacksonville wins by virtue of an overtime field goal by Josh Lambo. All I can tell you is that I worry about Blake Bortles going forward. I really do. Let's be honest. I mean, they're going to most likely have to go on the road. Well, maybe they won't have to go on the road. Maybe they'll have home field advantage. I don't know. But he is going to be a guy that's going to be asked to make plays in key spots. And if he makes those decisions, it's not going to be good.
All right, and we continue here with the post-game show. And we'd like to welcome those of you who watched Jacksonville win it in overtime on that field goal over the Chargers. 20-17 back here in Studio 43. Boomer with the highlights.
And JB, there weren't a lot of points, boy, but there was a lot of intrigue throughout this game, and both quarterbacks getting beat up. But, Phillips Rivers did not get sacked all game. They ran 67 plays. Jacksonville ran 81 plays. But how about A.J. Boye right here in overtime? Makes an unbelievable interception, getting that ball away from Travis Benjamin. Takes us all the way down to the 1-yard line. There's a little taunting penalty that goes on here by Jacksonville. This ball is going to end up getting moved back. Josh Lambo then is going to kick a 30-yard field goal. It gets tipped at the line of scrimmage, barely makes it over the crossbar. And Jacksonville, who I'm telling you, the last 5 years would have lost a game like this. But now you have Doug Marrone and you got Tom Coughlin running the show down there. They win a game. It's a hard-fought win.
And I'm sure Coach Carr will speak to that little things to get them into that consistent winner's attitude. After the game, it was A.J. Boyer talking with our Andrew Catalan and James Lofton.
I just kept telling Gip, you know, he made a big play, and I just told Jay one of us going to make a big play. I knew that they was going to come back to it. We had switched the scissors earlier, and that's the one that Benjamin dropped. So I just told Church, I was like, yo, let's switch it, but I knew he was going to try to look me off. So I kind of baited him, and I just knew when the ball was in the air, it was going to be mine.
And that's A.J. Boyer right there. We've been talking about this defense, and we know today 0 sacks for that defensive line. They couldn't get to Phillip Rivers, but what was consistent once again? Those DBs making plays. They're young.
Chirping.
Listen, I don't like to use words like dumb and stupid. They got to work on those because they made some dumb and stupid mistakes. That maturity can bite them in the end like it almost did in this game.
Yeah, you're looking at two teams, I think, Jacksonville and Tennessee right now. They both run the football primarily. Mariota, though, has been very, very impressive the last, I think it's 4 wins in a row now.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, they're heading toward a Week 17 showdown for the AFC South title right now. But it was an impressive win by Tennessee.
Jacksonville's defense, the coverage of the guys, the 3 guys who Tom Coughlin wanted to out, Calais Campbell, A.J. Boyer, Barry Church, they've all come through on the defensive side.
The little things, as Coach says, to get you to that winning, that consistent winning. And more to come here on the State Farm postgame show after this. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes and one of America's most accomplished gymnasts bravely sharing her story of being sexually abused. That'll be followed by new episodes of Wisdom of the Crowd, NCIS Los Angeles, Madam Secretary. That's tonight only on CBS. Back to football, we take a look at what these 2 squads have been doing to turn things around, Phil.
Well, I'm going to take the Saints 7 games in a row, and it's the defense, what they're doing, but it's not about Drew Brees. It's about their offensive line running the football, and their corners are covering guys man-to-man down the field very well. That's why they've won 7 in a row.
And you're right. I think with Drew Brees right now, didn't even have a touchdown pass today. And so, I mean, they're doing it with the running game, with the defense, and we know what Drew can do when he needs to be relied on. And Minnesota, I got to tell you, Case Keenum impressed me today. To me, that was the most impressive outing was the Minnesota Vikings.
And that's the shit. If I told you that Drew Brees would have a game where he doesn't throw a touchdown, but his offense would dominate, you say, Nate, you're out of your mind. Kamara, 106, Ingram, 131, 3 TDs.
Both of those guys win tough games on the road. That's all you need to know. Defense, running game, and a solid quarterback. Those are the ingredients.
We'll explain it next week, but Boomer took one for the team, so give him credit. Folks, we'll see you next week right here.
Thank you, JB.
Today.